Hello and welcome. This is register number URK17CS183 and today I will be demonstrating our lab experiment number 3, basic use of CSS. So CSS stands for Cascada Styling Sheets. So we are going to just see the layout of how we did HTML for this part, and then we directly jump into our CSS part because this experiment mainly focus on our CSS. So we'll just see that credential things. Okay, so let's see our first how our web page looks. So this is how our layout looks. So at the top we have three icons over on the right, and then we have this blue gradient background. Then we have our proper nav bar hovering with if we go over with the mouse, then we have a page. We won't discuss this JavaScript except I put a small script for this image change. Then we have small circle over the image with little opacity, and then a title over it. Then we have three tabular forms, and then title over it, image, and the last we have footer. So let's go to our HTML code. Okay, so here in HTML code we have provided link to our style sheet because our styling sheet is external linked with this particular HTML. Then we have used these three links from the Cloudflare from where we are getting our icons, and as you can see here we have given our link to style.css. So that's our CSS file, and then c.css is our extension. Then we have given here our title. Then simply if we have used here a reference link, and using I we have given here our icons, and here we have given our nav bar. So for making a nav bar we have used nav tag, and we have given a list from where we have made a nav bar. Then we have used section for container, and then we have put images inside it. These are the particular images, and then we have defined this span, which is we have using inside our JavaScript as for changing the images. So we won't discuss that because JavaScript is not in the aspects of this video and particular this experiment, and we'll just move on leaving the JavaScript part. Then we have section 3, which is having three columns here, and those columns individually have one images, and over the images we have a small class text blocks which is having like with 100% opacity and giving the title to those particular images as well as the content, and this is the basic layout. Then at the end we have a footer section which is giving the symbol copyrights for all right reserves, as you can see. Now let's go to our CSS file and see how we have made this all the designs over there. So we'll start from head. This is particularly known as universal selector. It means that it selects everything that exists inside a web page, and for that we have given it as box sizing border box and margin equal to 0, so that whenever we start our content it starts from a very initial position without leaving any space, padding or margin from any side of not padding but exactly margin from any corners. So after that we have our head section. We have given margin top, and we have given background to linear gradient. So what does linear gradient is? Linear gradient is simply a combination of multiple colors. So I have given here only two colors, dark blue and the light blue, and then it have given us a gradient effect. And in this linear gradient we have a property which is called the orientation. So orientation basically is to top. When I'm writing to top, as you can see here, as you can see here, it is going from down towards the top. So gradient is its orientation is towards from down to top. So this is one of the property known as orientation. And then we are determining the colors, which is I have given directly for blue and dark blue. Then we have head title, and we have a display inline block. So what does head title do? So head title basically we have determined. I will explain you what I have given head title for. So basically this is a head title, and I have given it inline so that whatever the object comes next, so whatever space that it requires, it will take that much only. And whenever the next object comes, if it have enough space to accommodate, so it will go in the same line. It means the same block, and it will be a coming contiguous. So as you can see here, these icons are needed to be completely inside this one block. As you can see, this one gradient as a one block, so it is inside that. So both contents are together inside one. So I have given here inline block. Then font family I have determined, font size, everything. Font size with determining size, font family for defining the type of font. Colors I have given. Then shadow basically is giving for the outer shadow of any letters. Then I have used icon, and icon have particular size. So this margin right, margin left, and top is determined for giving margins from left margin how much far it should be. Basically that does what it means. And then giving index value is giving like priority. So z index is used for providing the priorities to any object. So if it's given a very high priority, like suppose I've given 99999, it means it's like highest of all, and then this thing won't be coming below anything. So if I overlap it with anything, it will be above it because it have higher priority. Then I've used unordered list, as I've told you earlier. So I'm giving it list type none, which means that whenever I type unordered list, it's going to appear with some kind of symbol. It can be a circle, or it can be whatever the type we give, but when I put type equal to none, it becomes nullified, and it just gives a simple elements which is inside the list. Then margin and padding again it to 0, and I have given background color to this, and then I have given list as float left. So if I give list as float left, so it aligns themselves in a one order. Okay, so I have given this particular box as inline block, and then I have given list as float left. So when I say float left, this particular thing occupies this much space till here, as well as this each block occupies equal space. So when I give it 4, so it's going to occupy 24% of 25% for all 100% each block. So that way it's going to be completely come as a one complete nav bar. That's how I've determined it. Then we have display color, text alignment. Text alignment is for how we align a text inside a block, particular block. Then I have given paddings. Paddings is for providing a space inside it between the margin and the content. Now inside layer again we are providing padding, then width. Then background image again we have given linear gradient. Then let's go to containers. So containers we have given position relative. So what does position relative means? Basically position relative means within a container, if there is a block, then wherever I give a positioning, it will be relative to its outer container. It won't be relative to first of all the outer like website, but it will be relative to its outer container. Font family again I have given there. Position bottom again repeated. And border radius is basically I'll explain you using this example. So here we have designed this thing as a square. So if we make border radius for any square, it just give curves to the edges of the square, and if we keep on increasing the radius, so then it becomes a circle. So for this, as you can see, it is little elliptical, because I have mentioned here the border radius as 50%, and then I have given here the padding as well as different values, which is making it like that. So in this example, as you can see, radius is 50%, then padding left, right, bottom, top is basically arranging it in an elliptical form. So we can give different values to generate different shape as we want. And background color we have given it black. And other than that, opacity is one of the attribute that we used here. So opacity means the amount of the strength with which the color will appear. So if we give opacity as 1, it's gonna completely cover the whole, not cover exactly, but the strength of the color will be a lot. So if we give it as 1, then black, you won't be able to see anything from the black, it will be opaque. But if you give opacity, it gives little transparency. If as much you come closer to 0, it gives more and more transparency. And then we have used here column float left, again same thing, with 33.33%. this particular property we are using to determine that we can accommodate 3 columns. So because the width is 33.33%, each column, I'm talking about this section here, because each column is needs to have a particular equals width. We have determined width as 33.33%, which is 100 divided by 3, and exactly we are giving equal value for each column there. And then there we have columns, and we are giving margin top to like make it little lower from the above contents. Then we have last text alignment. So this particular last we are again using for giving the footer. And then we have given here font family, size, colors, and then CP text, columns. All things are repeated again and again. The properties, as I've mentioned. One thing that wanted to mention you for the icons. Let's see. Okay, so icons have a position fixed. Okay, so what does position fixed means? So let's go to our example here, and as you can see, when I scroll down the page here, you just keep looking at the icons, it comes down with the page. It's particularly static at wherever the position they are, regardless of if I go up or go down. So it's not moving at all. So that does what does position fixed means, and that's how we created our whole layout. And this hovering thing, let's see the coding for it. Yeah, fine. So here we have li a hover. So hover means whenever I go our mouse cursor over it, it gives a background color, background image to particular that linear gradient. So as you can see here, this property is giving us hover and then color over there. And again we have linked it to similar to our HTML1 experiment, and then that's how we have completed our this complete experiment. So we have successfully completed our experiment method, as we have see how CSS property works. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something from it. Thank you.